Hey there guys, and welcome to 15 questions with Odairu27. So I got tagged by my good friend Blazin. So let's just start. Number one says, how old were you when you first started playing video games? And to be honest, I played video games for as long as I remember. It's been maybe since I was 2 years old or something like that. I remember my brother, who is 5 years older than me, had an NES. And you know, I sat there with him and played Mario Brothers. So I always had a NES, and then we got his NES, and then I got my own N64, and my brother moved over to, I guess, PlayStation at that time. So he had a PlayStation, and eventually when the PlayStation 2 came out, I got his old PlayStation. So really the only console I haven't owned. We also had a Sega Mega Drive, by the way, the European version of Genesis. So yeah, really the only console I never really owned was a Nintendo GameCube. Question number 2 says, what is it about video games that you love? I actually thought about this one, and it's somewhat of a tough question. I don't know really what I like about video games. I guess it is the fact that you can merge into this world, right, and be someone else. For the longest time, video games was really my escape, I guess you can say, from reality. Back when I was a little tiny kid, I didn't really have a lot of friends, to be honest. So video games at the time were kind of like my friend, and I never really grew away from that, if that makes sense. I still love it today, and the technology today is just amazing. Not to take anything away from, again, the NES or the SNES era, because that was so good too as well. Alright, so I think that's what's about question 2. So question number 3. Question number 3 says, can violent or graphic games be a bad influence on people? And no. My answer is no. I hate those debates that says video games creates, I guess you can say, violent people. It's nothing like that. I don't believe it in one bit. I don't believe that a person can sit down, play GTA 5 or whatever game and think, hey, that's okay. If you're sane up in the head, a normal person wouldn't go out on the road and, do a massacre or something like that. Just from playing GTA 5 or Saints Row or whatever. CSGO or whatever you want to name it. So no, definitely I don't think that violent or graphical video games are a bad influence on people. So the next question number 4, is really simple. It just says PC or console. And to be honest, I really hate the console war that is going on and that has been going on for the longest time. My preference comes to whenever I want to play a first-person shooter, whatever it's gonna be, Left 4 Dead, CSGO, whatever, right? I definitely prefer it on the PC with the mouse and the keyboard and all that stuff. And when it comes to fighting games like Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Dragon Ball Z, whatever, I definitely prefer it on the console. I don't know why you can't like both. It's just, it really bothers me, it really does. So it really, the short answer is it really depends on the genre that I'm gonna play. So question number 5 says, do you watch Let's Players on YouTube, and if so, who? Yeah, I definitely watch Let's Players, and just to name a few, I obviously watch my good friend Blazin. And then I just watch people like Game Grumps, Jacksepticeye, Nova, just to name a few. Those guys are somewhat of my inspiration, really, and you should definitely look them up if you haven't seen them yet, which you probably should have. So, with question number 6, if you watch Let's Players, do you have any favorite? Or do you have a favorite? That's actually a bit tough to answer, because I don't know. For me, a favorite YouTuber is a YouTuber that you are looking forward to uploading a video minimum a day, right? I'm sorry, I'm looking this direction here. It's because the questions are up here. I don't know really if I have one favorite Let's Play. I like the people that obviously that I just mentioned. I really like, but I wouldn't really call them my favorite. So there you have it. Okay, let's see. Question number 7 says, what is your favorite genre of games? I know it might seem kind of cheesy to some people, but I really like fighting game and the fighting game genre in general. Fighting game has just really evolved, I guess you can say, over the years. Back in the days, it used to be really simple. It used to be, you know, let's just take Mortal Kombat for instance, where you climbed the ladder, right, and did the test your might thing. And with Dragon Ball, it was just, there wasn't a whole lot. For me, the first time I saw an actually story, I guess you can say, was in Dragon Ball Budokai 1. But up until then, it has just been this arcade mode kind of thing with the Tekken games. I did own Tekken 1, and my best friend at the time when I was a kid owned Tekken 3. And I don't know, I just really like the whole thing where you can sit down and find out combos and such. So, are you an old school gamer, or do you like getting the newest consoles? I am both. Simple as that. Nintendo or Sega? Well, again, both really. There isn't really any Sega consoles nowadays, like the Genesis or Saturn or whatever you want to call them, all those Sega consoles. But you know, back in the 90s, it was a really big thing with Nintendo and Sega. But what would I prefer back in the 90s? Probably Sega, actually. So, question number 10 says, favorite and least favorite video game character. My favorite game character of all time has always been Juliet Starling from the one game that I can't remember. Oh my god, that's so embarrassing. The Zombie Slayer chick. I don't know, I just really like her. She's a cool character. And my least favorite character, I don't know really. I can't come up with a least favorite game character on top of my head right now. So, are you a Let's Player? And if yes, what influenced you to make a gaming channel? Well, when I first started, I watched Marinan's Pokemon Diamond Let's Play, and I thought to myself I could also do something like that, so that's how I got started, by watching him pretty much. Favorite video game soundtrack. My favorite video game soundtrack has to be that's actually a pretty good question. Let's just say Ocarina of Time, the classic one. That is definitely really good. So, any game recommendations? Not really, no. If you could be a character from any game, who would you choose and why? Liu Kang, definitely. Just kick ass. Who do you tag? So, I don't know. I'm not really gonna tag anyone, but I mean, if you're watching this video and you want to do the same thing, by all means. It was a lot of fun. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it as well. Don't forget to comment, rate and subscribe, and I will see you in the next random video. See you guys then.